Welcome back guys to another video, and in this one we will be taking a look at another GUI based system from around the era around the time when the first Apple GUI based computer, the Apple Macintosh, was released with System Software 1. But that system was the top of the end hardware you could buy at the time, running a Motorola 68000 CPU with 6 megahertz clock and 128 kilobytes of RAM. But that was the top of the line hardware at that time. But today we will look at a hardware that was a more of a common occurrence, more easily available, and people could easily buy back in the day, and that was the Commodore 64. And Commodore 64 was running a mere 1 megahertz and had 64 kilobytes of RAM and 20 kilobytes of ROM and MOS technology CPU. So let's go ahead and see what we are talking about. So I do not own a Commodore 64 for obvious reasons, but we are going to emulate it using Vice. So what we are going to see today is an operating system called GEOS. So this was the first graphical operating system apart from Mac OS and Windows back in the day, and this ran on Commodore 64 and a couple of other devices, even the Apple II. So today we will be taking a look at that and a couple of applications that go with it. So these are the three files that I'm going to use. GeoPaint is one of the application, and geoWrite is another application, and this is our boot file. So I'm going to boot the operating system and then crop the screen to fit the emulator, because I get the emulator to go full screen. So that's about it. So first of all, I'm inserting the GEOS plain disk, then simply load the disk, and as you can see I am writing the name as boot, but in some cases it is also GEOS. So depending upon what drive or what system image you have, that will differ. And another thing is that this will take a lot of time, because back in the day the way softwares were written, especially operating systems, were that they were so very tightly bundled up with the hardware and made specifically for the hardware that slight changes in timing will mean that the OS doesn't work properly. So you cannot have the your floppy disk image run at the speed higher than a floppy disk would at that time. That's how the buses were created back then, all the data buses, and that how it is supposed to work. So it will take a long time to load. So down here you can see it says drive 8 4.0, and that is the light means that the drive is active. When the light is off, that means the drive is not active. You can see it takes a fair bit of time to load. Again, this is not Mac OS, it's not running on a Macintosh hardware. It is a Commodore 64, and it is a fairly slow hardware even for that time. So there we have it. The OS has booted up, and this is how the operating system looks. You can see that we do have a mouse, and that can be emulated using your actual computer mouse. So Vice is a great C64 emulator in that manner. So first of all, it does not support multitasking. So unlike Macintosh OS or the system software, if you call it that, it will not have multiple tasks running at the same time. Actually, you cannot even have more than 2 floppies display at the same time. So the operating system disk doesn't come with a lot of stuff pre-installed, maybe just a calendar application, and that's about it. A few more color managers and all of that stuff, but nothing more. So as you can see, the OS is right now reading from the disk, and at that moment the pointer will not be visible because it does not have free cycles to actually render the point or process the pointer itself. So it's a fairly single task operating system. Not I don't think it even has a very comprehensive time sharing stuff built in. So as you can see, it starts at November 1985, and that is about the calendar application. You can probably go ahead and add a few reminders. So I just type ABC, okay, and it will take some time and save it. Again, it just takes a lot of time, and you can see there is a little star asterisk where I saved that. So just let's have a quick look at the about section of this OS. And again, you can see it looks like a lot inspired from, I would not say Mac, I would not say Macintosh OS, but from Lisa OS. So Lisa was another one of Apple's project for the GUI, and that actually looks quite familiar to this. So this is GEOS about section. It will load up in a second. So as you can see, copyright 1986. As far as I remember, Macintosh OS came back in 1985. So let's just have a quick look. Yes, it was 1985. So again, so that's about it. I cannot do a lot with the disk that is provided. Unlike on the Mac OS, you did have a bunch of application, but then again the disks were in megabytes, and these are just a few kilobytes in size. So let's go ahead and insert our GEOS write disk first. So we have GEOS write open. So I've inserted it, and as you can see, there is absolutely no change on the screen. So what you have to do is go ahead and reset. So this will make sure that it reloads the disk, and this time what it finds is the geowrite disk. So we can go ahead and open up geowrite, and that will of course open up our application, and again take a lot of time because it's slowly reading from the disk. So I'll just skip ahead till where it loads. Alright, so what I'll do here is, this is our geowrite application. Let's go ahead and create an application and just have a name, let's say new, and that will create our new application. It will again take time to load the page, and there we have it. So hello world, and that's about it. So justification full. So these are all the cursor positions that are there available. Cut, copy, paste is there. Headers and footers. Okay. So again, just because it doesn't really have the time sharing stuff built in, it actually wouldn't really work that well. So it's very laggy, and you can of course feel it really pausing in between to do other stuff. So there's not a lot of background processes running there. Everything is running on the foreground, and it doesn't really work that well. So that is about geowrite. So I'm actually very surprised how just a single megahertz processing clock speed can run all of this. But the next thing I'm going to show will actually blow your mind. It blew mine. I'm pretty sure it will blow yours as well. So just let us quit this application and then reset. So this loads the GeoPaint disk, just waiting it to finish loading, and let's open up. Alright, so this is GeoPaint. Let's create a new image. So I already have new already created, so I'll have new one, and let's see how that works. So this is our blank canvas. So yes, here we have the white paint color, and that works like that. So it's actually very accurate, and the fact that we do have multiple colors on this system is also awesome. So I was thinking it might just be completely black and white, but it does actually have quite a range of colors. So yeah, so this was sort of a pencil application. This is a rubber, and one of the things is, unlike in the Microsoft Paint where you have to hold down the whatever you are using, your tool, you have to keep the mouse button clicked in this one you can just leave it and it will stay active. Then we have the paint brush, and this is how that works. And we also have the option for text, so it is actually super, I'd say it's actually very advanced for its time. Of course I wasn't alive back then, so I wouldn't really know, but according to me this is actually pretty awesome. Yep, that works, and that's about it. So let's see if I can save it and how I can save it. So yeah, alright, so I do remember this does automatically save, you don't have to do anything, this will save by itself. Okay, let's just change to a paintbrush and file update. That will ensure that it is saved. As you can see, the hard drive is blinking. Alright, so we are back at the application, and let's try to open up the files that we had created earlier. So these are the two files I had created earlier. So the new is the one I had created back, and this is so it really loads like piece by piece, pixel by pixel, takes a lot of time, but here it is. This is the one I had created earlier, and let's open up the one that I created recently. So open, and just wait for it, new, and open. So this is the file that I created just now, and well, that is about it. This is the GeoPaint, and running on the GeoOS. So just let's go back to the operating system itself, and we'll take a look at few other things. So this is one of the version of GeoOS that I have right now. I actually have another version. So this one is by Berkeley Softworks, and they are very similar and pretty much the same thing. I am not very sure what is happening, but um, they do work similarly. But I will go ahead and insert the other GEOS disk, so that would be a bit later one. And okay, so this is the second GeoOS disk I have. This is by Gateway. Actually, it says Gateway GeoOS. So let's see what that is. I'm not very sure what that will be, but let's see. So as you can see in this one, I actually typed GeoS because that was the file name. Now by file name, I do not mean the file name that is on the actual file that you download, the image file, but I'll just show you. So here you can see we have these files here, and the first or command or the file name, if you may, is the the one that you will launch. So in this one, this is the current disk that I have. It says GEOS, and this says GeoPaint, this says boot. So this one was the earlier one that we tested, and this says geoWrite. So that is how we see what we have to load. So it's just basically loading a command from a script maybe. So this is, believe it or not, this is the very first time I am using Commodore 64 for anything. I haven't used it before. I really found the GEOS to be, something I didn't know, and that I was surprised because it was from the same era where GUI based operating system really popped up, and Commodore 64 is so famous, but I actually never ever heard of GEOS before. So this is one of the reasons I'm actually making this video. So it says welcome to Gateway. Maybe it's just a gateway to graphical user interface, like a gateway drug. You will never come back to good old command line. You will always be locked up in a world of graphical user interface. Maybe that's what they mean by gateway, but well, yeah. So this is it. This is the other GEOS. So let's go ahead and I'll show you. The gateway is by James Collette, and this one is from 1992. So yes, a lot more recent version of GEOS, and actually I'm not very sure if it's the actual version or it's like a heavily modified version. Okay, so this one only has a control panel which is currently loading, and this is the thing that I wanted to show you guys, and that you can actually change the mouse color. So everything from gray, black, light green, pink, purple, black, white, brown, cyan, whatever that is, purple and green. So yep, that can be done. And background color as well as, so yes, that is way brighter, that is really nice. And then the foreground color, wow, that's funky. Okay, so let's select a one with the good contrast. That should be actually absolute black. Yes. So wow, I really hope I would have seen this beforehand, which I actually didn't. So I've just clicked on something called time. Of course it should show the time, but it doesn't. It actually crashes the whole system. This has happened before. I don't know why I went ahead and clicked on time. So anyway guys, this is about it. GEOS, this was my first experience with Commodore 64 as well as this graphical user interface based operating system. I hope you guys like this video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to click the like button and the subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks.